For decades, Somalia's name has been shorthand for conflict, piracy and danger. Since the country's civil war began in the 1990s, the country has had relatively few Western visitors. Yet, against the odds, the East African nation is now seeing a quiet rise in foreign tourists. About 10,000 tourists visited Somalia last year, according to the country's Department of Tourism, a 50% increase on the previous year. That's despite most Western governments still advising against all travel.
Children run in turquoise water, hawkers tout wares on white sands, and families laugh as tourists disembark from small boats. But it's not some tropical island, it's Somalia's capital, Mogadishu.
I'll be honest, I was pretty hesitant coming. You hear so much about the country and you have the travel advisories that say stay away and we will protect you if anything happens.
And make sure to write a will before you go and all the rest of it.
So I was a little bit nervous. In fact, didn't really tell my family where I was going. But getting here, from the moment we got off the airplane, I've been feeling totally comfortable, totally safe.
To say that Somalia does not have a good reputation would be an understatement. It has endured decades of conflict. First, a brutal civil war in the 1990s, and now, against the al-Qaeda-linked insurgent group Al-Shabaab. Mogadishu is a byword for bombs and armored cars. But the East African country is trying to change that narrative, trumpeting an 86% reduction of attacks in the city since 2023, thanks to more surveillance cameras, roadblocks, and plainclothes police. However, incidents do still occur, including a major assault on a prison last month by the militants. While Mogadishu is comparatively secure, the rest of the country is not. Al-Shabaab's major territorial gains earlier this year provoked warnings. The capital itself could be at risk. Still, despite the perils, Tourism Minister Daud Awais Jama says that roughly 10,000 people visited last year, and the number for 2025 could be twice that, mostly from China, the US, and Turkey.
We have many thousands of Somalis who are risking their lives going abroad without the skills, and even if they make it, it's going to be very difficult for them to get jobs. But if they are trained with such skills of hospitality and tourism, they can easily be employed, they can easily travel abroad safely, and they can come back wherever they want. So we see a very big opportunity in setting up institutions that teach tourism and hospitality.
But negative realities remain. The scars of recent conflicts in Mogadishu, with many buildings still in ruins.
I think a lot of people think of Somalia as dangerous, and to be honest, Somalia is, even though it's getting better, it is more dangerous than some places on earth. But I think one thing that maybe we got wrong from what I've heard is unfriendly. There's a difference between dangerous and unfriendly.
Mogadishu is rising, literally, from the ashes of decades of war. Pavements remain scarred by bullet holes, but the city's cacophony is now one of construction, not destruction. Almost 70% of Somalia's population is defined as multidimensionally poor by the United Nations, tracking education, health, living standards, services, and inclusion. But for the first time in decades, the 3 million inhabitants of Mogadishu, relatively well protected from the conflict, just a couple of hours outside the city, are witnessing a building boom. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.